It's considered to be the earliest high culture of Central America. Everybody's heard about the Aztecs. Everybody's heard about the Maya.
For hundreds of years, the story of the Aztecs lived in myths and legends. They were seen as a people who appeared late in Mexico's history, powerful, advanced, but wrapped in mystery. Historians tried to reconstruct their past using broken ruins and Spanish colonial records. Piece by piece, scholars attempted to form a complete picture. Yet one critical part of the puzzle stayed hidden for generations: their true origins. Until now, modern DNA science has opened a door no one expected. Genetic research has revealed links that cross oceans and continents, pointing to ancient migration routes no one ever imagined existed. These discoveries are forcing scientists to rethink everything they believed about human movement and early civilizations. So what exactly did researchers uncover? And how does it change our understanding of this powerful civilization? To answer that, we have to go back to the beginning, to the version of history we were originally taught. For a long time, the story of the Aztecs seemed straightforward. Traditional history taught that the people of the Americas followed a single migration path. Nearly 15,000 years ago, small groups of humans crossed a frozen land bridge from Asia into North America. From there, they gradually traveled southward. Over thousands of years, they adapted to different climates and environments. Hunters evolved into farmers. Temporary camps turned into villages. Villages slowly transformed into cities. Civilization advanced step by step. In this model, everything followed a clean, linear progression. No sudden jumps, no missing chapters, no unexplained leaps, just steady development over long periods of time. This is where the Aztecs entered the timeline, and they entered very late. The Mexica people founded Tenochtitlan in 1325 AD on a swampy island in Lake Texcoco. Compared to ancient civilizations like Egypt, Mesopotamia, or even the Maya, they appeared to be newcomers. But something didn't add up. Almost immediately, they were building something extraordinary. In less than 2 centuries, the Aztecs created a massive capital city that rivaled and even surpassed most European cities of the time. They engineered complex causeways, aqueduct systems, and floating agricultural platforms. They tracked the movements of the sun and stars with remarkable accuracy. They developed sophisticated calendars, legal systems, religious institutions, and an empire that ruled much of central Mexico. Historians explained this rapid rise through inheritance. They argued that the Aztecs stood on the foundations of older cultures. They borrowed knowledge from civilizations like the Olmecs, the Maya, and the Toltecs. What looked like a sudden rise was supposedly the result of centuries of shared knowledge slowly passed down through generations. It made sense, but it never fully explained everything. Another mystery troubled scholars: the organization of Aztec society. Their cities were carefully planned. Markets operated with precision. Specialized craftsmen, priests, and scribes maintained highly complex systems. The level of coordination required to run such a society didn't feel accidental. It suggested deep layers of knowledge, systems, and experience that seemed far older than the civilization itself. Then there was the scale of their empire. It expanded rapidly, yet remained stable. Laws, tribute systems, and communication networks stretched across hundreds of kilometers, connecting diverse regions and cultures. Historians struggled to explain how such centralized power could form so quickly in a society that supposedly appeared so late in history. How did so much complexity emerge so fast? Why did their rise feel like a sudden leap instead of a slow climb? The official explanation was diffusion, adaptation, and time. And for decades, no one seriously challenged it, until scientists began studying DNA. And that's when the story began to change. The Aralasian signal. When researchers first started analyzing ancient DNA from the Americas, they expected a simple story. For decades, the theory was clear. Humans entered the continent through Siberia, crossed into Alaska, and slowly migrated south. One route, one origin, one migration story. But in 2015, that idea collapsed. Scientists studying the DNA of indigenous groups in the Amazon rainforest discovered something completely unexpected. A small but unmistakable genetic signal appeared, one that didn't match Siberian or East Asian populations. The closest genetic match was in Asia. It wasn't Siberia. It was Aboriginal Australians and Melanesians. At first, researchers assumed it had to be an error, contamination, faulty samples, data mistakes, anything except what the evidence was actually showing. But repeated tests confirmed the same result again and again. The signal was real, and it was ancient, over 15,000 years old, long before the Aztecs, long before any known city in Mesoamerica. This discovery changed everything. It meant at least one ancient group reached the Americas through a route no one had ever considered. A population carrying a distant lineage somehow ended up deep inside the Amazon rainforest. And the mystery grew deeper. The signal didn't appear everywhere. It wasn't spread across the continent like other genetic lineages. It survived in some regions and vanished completely in others, as if entire populations once carried it and then disappeared over time. This matters for the Aztec story because they did not arrive on an untouched continent. They entered a land shaped by layers of ancient migrations, some local, some distant, and some so old that even the people carrying the genes no longer remembered where their ancestors came from. As scientists compared ancient Mesoamerican DNA with these early signals, faint overlaps began to appear. Not strong enough to prove direct connections, but strong enough to show that the continent's past was never simple. And when researchers focused on Mesoamerica, one truth became clear. This region had always been a crossroads, the genetic crossroads. Long before the Aztecs built Tenochtitlan, Mesoamerica was already a center of movement, trade, and human connection. It wasn't the homeland of a single people. It was a meeting point where generations of groups migrated, mixed, and merged. Modern DNA science is now proving this. Mitochondrial DNA studies show that Mesoamerica wasn't just receiving people, it was exporting them. Genetic lineages from pre-Aztec civilizations, like Teotihuacan, appear far to the north and south. Ancient Maya DNA is found as far away as Chile and Argentina. This means Mesoamerica didn't just absorb migrations. It shaped populations across the entire hemisphere. The Aztecs arrived in 1325 AD into this already complex genetic landscape. Their empire expanded across regions shaped by centuries of population movement. Their conquest didn't just change borders, they reshaped bloodlines. Studies of ancient city-states show that maternal lineages changed dramatically after Aztec expansion. Families were displaced. Local gene pools were replaced or blended with Aztec populations. Mesoamerican cities weren't just political centers, they were biological crossroads. People, ideas, and genes flowed through trade routes, valleys, and waterways. Even more striking, many paternal Y chromosome lines from earlier civilizations almost completely vanish. Olmec, Maya, and Teotihuacan male lineages largely disappear in modern populations. This suggests massive upheavals, population collapses, violent replacements, and social disruptions that occurred long before the Aztecs rose to power. The continent was never static. It was constantly being reshaped. And the Aztecs became one of the final great waves in that transformation. The language network. When the Aztecs expanded, they didn't rely only on armies or tribute systems. They carried something even more powerful, their language. Nahuatl became one of their strongest tools of expansion. It spread far beyond the imperial center. Spanish accounts describe how people across vast distances already spoke and understood Nahuatl when Europeans arrived. Traders used it. Messengers relied on it. Markets from Texas to central Mexico echoed with it. Even coastal communities and groups near California had learned parts of it. Nahuatl functioned as a bridge, moving ideas, traditions, beliefs, and people across huge distances. And wherever the language traveled, people followed. DNA now confirms this movement. Regions connected by Nahuatl trade routes show clear signs of genetic mixing. Maternal and paternal lines reveal patterns of long-distance migration, integration, and exchange. The Aztecs ruled not by erasing cultures, but by absorbing them. By spreading their language, they created unity, control, and integration. Some local lineages faded. Others merged into the growing imperial network. Even more mysterious, Nahuatl symbols and carvings appear in regions where Aztec armies never marched. This suggests that the movement of people and ideas began long before the empire, carried by earlier travelers who laid the foundations for the world the Aztecs inherited. The Vanishing Fathers. For centuries, the story of Mesoamerica seemed simple. Civilizations rose, collapsed, and were replaced. But DNA reveals a far darker reality. Entire male bloodlines disappeared. Ancient Y chromosome analysis shows sudden breaks in paternal ancestry. The dominant male lines of the Olmecs, Teotihuacan, and early Maya vanish rapidly, not gradually, but suddenly, often during times of collapse and conflict. Teotihuacan shows near total replacement of male lines just before its fall. This points to violence, upheaval, and forced displacement, not natural migration. Women's lineages tell a different story. Maternal DNA persists far more consistently. Women were absorbed into new societies, carrying their genetic heritage forward. This created a powerful pattern. Male lines vanish. Female lines survive. By the time the Mexica arrived, the Valley of Mexico was already genetically fractured. Many local male lines were gone, but maternal lines remained. The Mexica entered with strong, intact paternal ancestry. Their male lines merged with surviving maternal lines, giving them both social and biological dominance. DNA shows that their expansion reshaped populations at a genetic level, not just political. The Aztec advantage. The Aztecs were late arrivals, but that lateness became their strength. They entered a world weakened by collapse, war, and vanished bloodlines. Their intact paternal ancestry allowed them to rise rapidly, integrate populations, and build dominance. Their empire wasn't just political, it was biological. Genetics confirms their influence across Mesoamerica. Their language spread, their bloodline spread, their systems reshaped entire regions. Yet they also inherited everything that came before them. Ancient migrations, lost civilizations, and mysterious genetic echoes like the Aralasian signal. Their empire became a living mosaic of thousands of years of human movement. They didn't just conquer. They completed a story left unfinished by lost civilizations. The final truth. The Aztecs were more than warriors, more than rulers, more than empire builders. They were inheritors of a hidden world. Their story connects lost civilizations, vanished bloodlines, ancient migrations, and forgotten peoples. History is not only written in ruins and codices, it is written in DNA. Every missing Y chromosome tells a story. Every vanished lineage marks a collapse. Every surviving line carries memory. The Aztecs didn't just build an empire. They bridged the past and the future. And in that bridge lies the true revelation. The history of the Americas is far more complex, mysterious, and extraordinary than anyone ever imagined. So what do you think? Should we keep uncovering these lost civilizations? Or should some secrets remain buried? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next journey into history's hidden truths. Until next time, see you.